Hello. It's a really hot day here in the United Kingdom. For us, it's a heat wave. I know some of you would look at our temperatures and think, oh, that's comfortable, but um, for what we're used to here, it is really quite hot. And I'm finding that the heat is really sapping my energy due to a combination of surgery, recovery, and long COVID, and the fact that I'm not as young as I used to be, and senior citizens are more vulnerable to the heat. So I haven't really got the energy to do anything like Tai Chi. Um, I'm not even sure I've got the energy to do um, a normal talking head, so I'm going to do something a bit different. Um, I when I got attuned to Reiki, which happened way back in 2007, 2008, I've lost track. That kind of opened up an intuitive, empathic side of me, and I got into doing cards. So what I'm going to do today is showcase that other thing that I do, which I don't normally do. I'm going to do a 3-card reading, and I'm going to hope that somebody who sees this video can relate to it. Normal rules apply with readings. If you see what I do and the cards resonate with you and you'd like to know more, just DM me. I'm happy to do a one-to-one session of 30 minutes for a donation of whatever you can afford, minimum donation of £1. So I'm really doing this just so I can say, oh, I'm still doing stuff on YouTube, because I really haven't got back to doing stuff after my surgery the way I thought I would. So here we go. So the deck I'm using is not a tarot deck. It's the Wisdom of Avalon. It's a lovely deck. Arthurian. Very fantasy, which suits me because I do like my fantasy and I really like the Arthurian legends. So let's see. I'm just going to draw 3 cards off the top. And there's the first card, the Water Fairy. Now she is all about feelings and emotions. And the Water Fairy is encouraging you to acknowledge your feelings and emotions. Acknowledging your feelings and emotions is one of the core things mindfulness encourages you to do, because you've got to be aware of how you're feeling before you can start to deal with it. This doesn't mean that you need to be aiming to change any feelings or emotions that you become aware of. It can be useful to notice them and work through them and maybe try to understand where they've come from and why you feel like that. But I'm not saying you need to change anything. Second card is restriction. Now, this is a very evocative card actually, because it shows exactly in a visual form what it can feel like if you are being kind of moved in one direction and can't see any other options. Sometimes the only option in life is to just accept that something's happening that you have no control over. And this could be what the fairy is trying to tell you. You've got no control over that. That's why you're feeling frustrated. Now, the good thing, a good message of this card is the path looks fairly straight. The path looks fairly smooth. You haven't got much of a chance to get off it, But the big negative is you're going into that dark tunnel there and you can't see where it's going to end up. You're being asked to trust, to accept that sometimes the universe knows better than you do. And the third card is the Earth Fairy. And this is all about physical health. It's about staying grounded. It's about getting the foundations of everything right. I just moved the card closer. Okay. I'll hold up all three cards because although I've gone through each individually, as a group, they can convey a slightly different message to the one they convey when you look at each card individually. And for me, the message I'm getting, it's not for me, or maybe it is for me, but this is a message that someone watching this video needs to hear. You're frustrated because you feel you've got no control over what's going on. And you kind of feel you're being railroaded. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be a project, could be a new business, it could be anything. But it's something that's very important to you, that you've put your heart and soul into, that isn't quite working out the way you wanted. The Water Fairy is saying you need to acknowledge those feelings that you've got. You need to accept that what's going on you have no control over. They're things that are outside your sphere of influence. And sometimes in life, the only thing you have any control over is how you choose to think, feel, and react to things, people, and events. So that's the big choice you've got to make here. But the Earth Fairy is actually coming in with a very positive message. She's saying, look, you're being a bit airy-fairy. Get your feet on the ground. The plan is good, but you've got to get the basics right. And that's why you are being restricted and kind of guided, because it's to help you get the basics right. I want you to think about a pyramid. I'll show the cards again. I'm going to put them down for now. Think about a pyramid. Pyramid is a wonderful example of construction. If you know anything about ancient history and the Egyptians, we all admire what the Egyptians did and the way they built the pyramids. And they are magnificent structures. But they didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of time, a lot of work, and most importantly, it was built layer by layer by layer from the ground up. It's got to have firm foundations. And as good as your idea is, you need to make sure you've got the basic foundations in place. This may take longer than you want, but it will be worth it in the end. So, here are the three cards again. So, Water Fairy is asking you to acknowledge the feelings that you've got. Restriction is trying to help you understand why you feel like that. You're not being allowed to go the way you want to go. And that's frustrating and annoying and maybe getting you a bit angry. But the Earth Fairy is saying, look, slow down. You've got to get the foundations right before you can move on, before you can build what you really need to build. Maybe you need a little bit of extra training. Maybe you need to acquire a skill you haven't got yet. Maybe you need a savings plan. Maybe you need to look at your finances so that you can, start saving regularly. Maybe you need to look at what you're spending your money on so that you can create a plan to save money regularly to get what it is that you want to get. Okay, I'm going to end by doing a short guided meditation, which will be looking at the things that came up in that reading. So if you can't join in the guided meditation now, that's absolutely fine. As ever, you can stop the video or listen with half an ear or whatever and come back to it later. And to save you listening to that again, the reading again, if you don't want to, when you see me make the Namaste sign, that will mean I'm inviting you to get yourself settled for the meditation. So here we go. So I invite you to get yourself settled and comfortable. That can be seated on a chair, cross-legged, lying on a bed, lounging on a sofa. I don't care. I want you to be comfortable. And as you get yourself settled, can you notice what you do to get settled? Whether it's just taking a few gentle, easy breaths, or maybe it's just shrugging your shoulders, or maybe it's just snuggling in to whatever you're sitting or lying on. And just notice any sense of comfort and maybe of support that you have from wherever you are, from wherever your body is right here, right now. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable, or you can just gently half lower them so that you're staring at the ground. But do whatever makes you feel comfortable. And I invite you to think about anything that's going on in your life that is causing strong feelings, or where you are feeling a little bit hampered because you can't do things the way you want to. Notice any sense that you have of frustration about something that you want to do that for whatever reason you can't do now. And whatever comes up, let it go. Don't get caught up in it. Just acknowledge that the feeling is there. And let it go. I'm not asking you to get yourself into a Zen-like state of calm. I'm just asking you to acknowledge how things are for you right here, right now. And then I'd like to invite you to do a short body scan. Starting at your toes, I'd like you to gently bring your attention up from your toes into your feet, into your legs, then up your legs, through your knees and hips, and then scan up through your back, through your spine, up to your shoulders. Maybe scan up the front of your body as well. through your abdomen and your chest. And then scan all the way up to the top of your head. And I want you to notice any part of your body which is sending stronger signals than other bits, if there are any. And I invite you just to pay a little bit of attention to them. Again, as with the strong emotions, acknowledging that those physical feelings are there. This reading was all about getting the foundations right. And the foundation of you getting through this project, whatever it is to be physically healthy. Just as mindfulness encourages you to notice your feelings, so it also encourages you to notice what's going on in your body. Noticing things that you do that make you feel more tired. Noticing anything you do that may cause actual pain or discomfort. And you're being asked not to push anything too far. You won't complete the project if you're not physically healthy, just as you won't complete the project if you're not mentally healthy. And mental well-being starts with physical well-being, because physical well-being is something that's kind of easy to do something about. And that's the very first foundation you've got to get right for this project, making sure you are fit enough. So I invite you to take a moment to thank every bit of your body for everything it does for you. If there's any bits of you that are causing pain or discomfort, I'd like to invite you to take in a deep breath filled with love and compassion and healing. As you breathe in, can you imagine that you breathe it down into the area that's giving you problems, so that you imagine you're massaging it with love and care and compassion from the inside. And then just bring your attention up into your head and your mind. Notice the thoughts and feelings that are there. But I want you to recognize one very important thing. Those thoughts and feelings are not you. They're in your mind, but they come and they go. You are not your thoughts. And that is something that can help you get your mind into the best possible state, so that you can get to the point where the universe is ready to let you make a start on your project. And maybe take a moment to visualize this wonderful project that you've got, whether it's self-improvement, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, whatever it is. I want you to imagine how things will be at the end. And then say to yourself internally with conviction, I will get there at the right time. And then slowly bring yourself back to normal awareness. Don't rush off. Maybe shrug your shoulders, maybe take a little drink. And before we close, I'll just show you the cards once again and remind you of the meaning. Water Fairy is about acknowledging your thoughts and emotions, not asking you to change them, but to notice them, maybe do a bit of inquiry, but they don't need to define you. Restriction is trying to reassure you that if for some reason things aren't working out at the moment as you wanted them, you're actually going in the right way and you will get there, but the time isn't right yet. And maybe one reason why the time isn't right yet is because of what the Earth Fairy is telling you. You've got to get the basics right. Now that basics can be getting your body in shape, can be acquiring a skill, whatever it is. Earth Fairy is saying, keep your feet on the ground, keep yourself grounded, don't run ahead of yourself, keep yourself physically healthy, and that is the best foundation you can have for almost anything that you want to do. So thank you very much for watching this. I hope this slightly different video has been interesting for you. And I will be back sometime next week. In the meantime, whoever and wherever you are, remember that you matter. Namaste.